Generic greetings and welcome back to Satisfactory. In the previous episode, we upgraded our automation only a little bit, as in we upgraded so that we don't have to produce metal plates by hand and forge up from wrought iron, so that's good. However, in this episode, we want to do a couple of things. We want to increase our automation so we are producing a lot more of this simple stuff, and also we want to upgrade our hub, which is exactly what we'll do now, and get some, I think we'll get some stocks in SpaceX, because our drop pod type thing, our reusable shuttle, will be coming down just now. There's our rocket there, and here it comes. We'll skip the little talky bit there, and this is our reusable spacecraft, so we can send stuff up and down. Obviously, it's not a manned vessel by any means, it's just an automated pod that we can do some research with and send it up and down and get some stuff unlocked. And oh, that's actually a lot softer than I thought it was originally. Anyway, it is now landed, and that's pretty cool. Let's go up and have a quick peek at that. We can see that it is actually a lot bigger than you think. Just like a lot of things in Satisfactory, actually, it's not until you get right up close that you think, oh yeah, actually this is quite a large machine, and also very, very head-crushing. So we now have the ability to do some research. If we go over here, you can see we do have the ability to do things like research green power slugs and the barrel nuts and stuff like that. Let's do the barrel nut, because it's only 5 minutes long. Let's go over to here, and we'll pick up said nut, like so. And we will put it into our research slot. So we'll say click on that, and we want to put the nut into there, and then we'll start research, and then that'll give us I think that gives us a scanner to find more of those, but we have a lot of options to do certain things. So as you can see from here, we've got our miners, we've got some smelters, and then we've got some of these assembly machines. Now these constructors here, and then they are outputting at this present time some iron plates, which are going into that cargo box, and some iron rods, which are going into there. But we want to change this up because the ratios are all wrong. And I did mention roughly about sort of ratios and stuff last episode. So because this produces a total of 60 iron ore a minute, and this thing produces 30 iron ingots per minute, we can have one of those for 2 of these, and then depending on what we're producing, we can have some more of that. So for example, the iron rods, you get 15 per minute, so basically you can have a 2-to-1 ratio on that, because this produces 30, that uses, well, that's 30 a minute, and this is 15 a minute, so we can have 2 iron rods. But this one only produces, well, this produces 15 a minute as well for iron plate, but it does take 2, so actually, in terms of efficiency, we can either go for time, because it produces it for over 4 seconds, and this is every 2, but basically, if we want to get it ideal, it's a 1-to-1 ratio. It just takes a little bit longer than the full throughput that's capable. So anyway, let's just crack on with all of this instead of nattering on. So we're going to jump over here, and I've got some other miners just placed here. I went ahead and skipped a little bit just so I could collect some of these resources, because it's not that interesting you watching me just wait for resources. So we're going to dump all of these into here. That's just going to start producing some more of that, and then this one is supposed to be producing some wire, but we haven't got anything going in there, but we don't need to do that just yet. What I want to do is get some more power, because we certainly need it, and we also need to, actually do we have the ability for power? Yes, we do have a biomass burner. That's good. Biomass burner, and we're going to produce an area where we can have some, basically a power plant. We do need a power plant, and I probably want a flat area. And, ooh, the moon is out, otherwise known as the huge gas ball over there. Is it the moon, or is it a very, very, very small star? No, because it wouldn't be orbiting us. Okay. Anyway, so this is producing, as you can see. So we're producing 20 megawatts there and 20 megawatts there. Now, you can already see there's some savings to be made here, because the maximum peak output is about sort of 15, 16. And this one, the maximum peak for that is about the 10 area. And if we ever go over by 1 on each of these, it'll power down. But if we wire them both together, that'll give us 40 megawatts, and we'll have a nice extra sort of gap there where we can basically be a bit better. We now have options for things like logistics and utility. We're going to go for logistics, and we'll select that milestone, because this is to get splitters, and we need to get that before anything else. So let's do that. So we're going to put in some of these things here, and oh, it looks like we do need some copper wire. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to see if I can get both of these producing. I don't know if I'll be able to, but I'll do my best. So just checking this, you can see it does actually have some stuff in there, so we need to connect up some of these cables. So I'm going to connect up some of these power poles, but instead I'm going to do something first. I'm going to remove all these from the line. That'll obviously stop the entire thing, and that's not a problem yet. However, I want to get rid of that, and I want to make sure that we have a couple of power poles, and I don't actually have any copper wire apparently. Let me produce some of that, and that'll give us the ability to crack on there. And we want a power pole there, which is perfectly fine. We've got one there which will come to there, that's fine. Then we want one here, and then that will be able to go over to probably... Actually, that should be okay. So we want one of these going from each of the lines. So we've got one from there going from there to there. So these are now connected up, so that now has a maximum peak output of 40, so that's fine. So instead of having 220s, which I know 220s is 40, but it means that if we go over one by, say, 21 and the other one's still an 18, it's not going to blow the grid because it will take up the slack there. So we'll connect that to there, that to there, that to there, and then that should hopefully be functioning if we connect this power line up as well, which we might have the ability to do so. It's not working. Oh, sorry, I need to connect that up to there. That is my mistake. Let me just remove that one there. This is a bit of spaghetti junction at the moment, but we are going to be overhauling this anyway, so it's not too much of a problem. That's to there, and then that's to there, and then please don't blow up, and it looks like it's not. And I think that's the majority of these going. Oh, no, some of them are not going. So this is going to fluctuate somewhat. You can see now our maximum peak is capacity is 40. And we're running around about the 35. But remember, this will turn on and off based on... you see that's green there. When it's green, it means it's producing. When it is flashing red, it's got no power. When it's yellow, it's got power but not producing anything. Or rather, is it not power, not producing anything? Or is it just I've not got the resources? Or it's on standby, essentially. Either way, these are all producing. You see we're now producing... Oh, okay. Our arms producer got the analysis done, so we're going to send our pod up there. So we'll go over to here. Actually, do we need to send a pod, or is it just... oh no, we need new specimen. That's fine, so we'll go for the alien carapace.
Can be added to the object scanner catalog after unlocking the new blueprint in Hub Tier 1.
Ah, there we go. So that's what it's saying. So we can put in that, and we will start analysis on that, which is going to take about 8 minutes. So that means that because we've got that research, we can go for the hub upgrade. And if we select a different upgrade, we've got this scanner for the nut. But we don't want to do that. We want to get this done here. So let's place in all the resources it needs, which is going to be some iron rods and some iron plates, because we need the splitters in order to make this much more efficient. So let's just go over here. We'll gather those resources, and then run back, and that's going to be nowhere near what we need, but at least we're actually over halfway there for the majority of these. I've actually got a lot of copper in my pocket, so I can produce all of these wires if I want to, which should be now done. There we go. And that's fine, and we just need now 100 of the iron. So I'm going to go over here, and just as a matter of course, we're going to empty these out anyway. You can see we've got 3 pads in total for the iron, and we're going to utilize all 3 of these, I think. We'll have 2 of them producing... actually, I think we'll have a lot of iron plate and then a couple of iron rods, but we'll see how we get on that one. Put them in there, and I don't think we need to put them in there, do we? No, we do not. It is... yeah, it's completely full. Okay, so that's producing there. While they are outputting that one, I'm going to go back here, and I'm going to... actually, do I need to pick up... how much concrete have I got? 28. Okay, I'm going to go over and pick up this, because at the moment it's not producing anything. This is our... well, it was going to be a concrete factory, but obviously not at the moment. It's just at the moment just gathering some limestone, and we're doing it all the hard way, but not that it matters. Just going to check this again. We can see that sadly you can't scroll the graph to the left and right or alter it so you can get a long-term overview, but you can see they're consuming 29, so that's fine, and all the machines are on now as well. Obviously they'll fluctuate on and off depending on what we're doing at the time, but yeah, for the most part it's doing alright. Oh, by the way, today's beverage is lemon tea. So we've got a lot of this iron to smelt, but that shouldn't be too much of a problem. We've got a total of 100 iron plates remaining until we can get the rest of the stuff. We do need to build, as I said, a bit of a power plant area. Now we could do a bit of a stack of it if we wanted to. I'm not entirely sure how we're going to go about doing that. It would require a fairly flat area, and I'm feeling that we should probably make a power plant up there, then bring the power down, and this is where it starts. That would be the logical, I guess, solution. The problem with it is that it's quite hilly up there, so we'd have to probably build some of the flat plates, which I think just require iron plate anyway, so it's not too much of a problem if we choose to do that. Once we've got all this produced, we'll send the rocket up, and then we'll check out what that is. So there's all of the iron that we've produced manually, and that means we've just got Well, it's only 43 off anyway, so, and there's 39, so we just wait a little bit. Actually, we'll pick that open, that open, that open, that open. We're going to be, what, one off? Click. Nope, there we go. Let's send that. And
Milestone reached.
let's watch that.
Conveyor belts can now merge and split to increase the complexity and efficiency of your factory. The productivity display
Let's watch it
will
go.
help you measure and improve the productivity of individual buildings.
I like the
to enable
animation on it.
optimization.
Bye! Okay, so that pod has gone, which now means we can produce, if we go for logistics, some conveyor belt splitters and conveyor belt merges, which allows us to do all the things we need to do. So let's click foundations for a moment, and we can see that an 8x4 foundation is quite large, but does require a fair bit of concrete, which at the moment we are not automating. So what we'll do, we will, for this episode, get a lot of that stuff that I mentioned up earlier about the about automating all of this. So we're going to get these 3 miners on the go, as well as all of the factory machines and the assemblers and that sort of thing. And then probably next we'll go for a bit of a power plant up there. So we'll crack on with that. So we need to double check to see if we've got the biomass. The biomass is it's nowhere near exhaust, so that's fine. And there we are, because we did collect a lot when we were on our little excursion last episode. Double checking the research, we've got 3 minutes left for that, so let's go back and let's see what we need. So in terms of what we need to produce, we need to get a total of, well, we need 3 of these. So we've already got the 1, so let's put some more in there. So production, we need a total of 2 miners on the go. In terms of smelters, we need 2 smelters for each. So we've already got, there's 1 pair, then 2 pair, and then we need, hang on, do we need 2, 4, 6, 8? We need a total of 8 of those smelters in total, but we already have 1, 2, 3. So we just need the 5, because it's 2 for that one, 2 for that one, 2 for that one, and then 2 for that one. Okay, that should be fine. Because of that, we also need some splitters. So that'll be splitter 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. Obviously, we're not going to be building these all in one go. There's no way we're going to be able to do that. But there's that ordered. In terms of our production, then, we need at least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We've already got 4? 3. I think that's right. That's the rough plan on the right hand side. So we need those resources, and we probably have a lot of those, especially when you consider that we can pick up a lot of these here. And oh, our thing's landing again. There it goes. Yeah, it's the small things in large packages like that, obviously, and in life. And clunk, there we go. Excellent. And right, concrete. We need.
Milestone exchange concluded. FICSIT freighter re-entry complete.
That's a FICSIT freighter, apparently. So we're going to go here. We're going to pick up a lot of that because we already have a lot of it. And according to this, we have the majority of what we need. Oh, we also need some power plants, because there's no way that we'll be able to power this with just the 2 bio stuff that we've got. And that actually is totally off the scroll bar. So I'm going to pick up that miner, and I'm going to pick up the miner over here. And you can see it says portable miner there. That we have that. So we've picked all those up. Right, let's remove this belt, because we're going to be building across this. So let's crack on. We'll remove that, and we're going to basically be turning the majority of this off. We could probably leave that where it is for now, and at the angles that they are, it doesn't really much matter. But we do want to... What's that noise? Oh, well, the noise is the huge drilling machine that's next to us. Anyway, so we'll go over to our building, and we will crack on with building the miner. So we need to spin it round, and we'll put it roughly forward. Obviously, we are not too concerned about the orientation, because we can obviously change the belts and such. And that one probably straight ahead like so. So there's those 3 now in. I think we will go ahead and pretty much remove all of this. There's no reason to keep these around while we are not producing anything. We're going to power everything down, and we'll be putting all the power poles back in anyway. So there we are. Obviously, we've got this very basic one for the time being, but you can see it's very, very quick to quickly rip stuff down and get everything back. All the resources that you need, and hopefully all the resources that you can use again. So there we are. We do need a way to cut that down because that's going to be a problem. So we'll obviously remove this thing as well. And it looks fairly disastrous removing all this, and it sort of is. If the calculations are wrong, then this is not going to go very well. Okay, let's put some of these resources in that box because we want to just make sure that nothing's just sitting in these FICSIT boxes. There we go. Okay. So, from here, these are going to come out, and these are going to produce a total of 60 per minute. So we need to have 2 smelters. So we'll have the smelters, and we'll place them so they come out, and we're going to line them up, probably that way, I think. And we're going to go straight ahead, so we'll put one there. Hang on, wait. Yeah, that is the in. Orange is the in. I have to keep reminding myself. One there, and then one, we'll put one, I think right... Oh, that's wrong. Let's remove that. One right next to it. We'll put them in sort of groups of 2. That's a minus, so we don't need that. We need extra smelter. So that's going to go pretty much lined up like that. So there's 2 there. Then we will have a gap, which we'll go and put one there. Do you want to put them in line? There's no reason why we couldn't put them in line. Actually, I'll put them further back. There's no reason why we can't do that either. And then right next to it like so. And then this one over here, we're going to do the same sort of thing. One there. And then one right next to it. So that should be hopefully correct with enough gap to put all of the things in that we need. For example, where is it? The conveyor belt splitter. So they take an input and the output in 3 sides. Obviously, we're only going to be using 2 of those, so that's not a problem. We'll put that pretty much right next to the output there. And make sure that that is lined up like so. It's quite difficult to line up sometimes, but... we'll put it maybe, hang on, what we'll do is I think we'll turn it a little bit like that. That should be fine. I'm just hoping I've left enough room here. And I already think I haven't. Why can't I line it up with that? I can line it up with that. Okay, so before we do anything else, let's make sure that these belts can be connected. They can. Okay, that's one of them, which is good. That one is... Oh, yeah. That's all kinds of wrong. Okay, well, that's going to get shifted. Let's place another one back in. And maybe we'll stand where the output is, which is generally not advisable if the machine is activated. That'll go into there. That'll go into there. And then this one will go into there. That is now correct. That one into the back of there. And then one to there. And then this one to there. Okay, so that should be... Hopefully the ratio is correct. If it's not, then whoops. So that's 60 per minute, which will go over to here. And they are a total of, we'll change that to iron ingot, 30 a minute. So that should be correct, alright? So these are all going to be iron, every single one of them. We are massively upscaling our production of these resources here. And obviously, that will also require a huge change in what we produce in terms of power. Speaking of power, let's connect these up and start getting these producing something, basically. Double checking to make sure all of these are set, even though I know I've just done it, but I just want to make sure before we crack on any further. So that is fine. So let's get some power poles. So power poles will go from there and connect all of these up. You can see this has outputted, and the reason for that is this had some just sitting in its backlog there. So these are connected up to this now. I'm guesstimating that we're going to need at least a couple of biomass generators, and for now I don't really mind where they go, so I'm just going to put them up the top here like so. Not ideal by any stretch, but at least if we get something up and running first, we can then focus on efficiency of this power plant later on. So that's now connected up to the grid, and our total output, if we look at this, is, it says 40, but if I turn these on, we'll see that that's going to be probably improved massively. That's in there, and that's in there, and we now have 80 megawatts in terms of our output. So we're going to have this one spur off, because this has only got one connection, you see. We're going to have this go over to probably there. Alright, so that one is like our first branch line. So this will branch off left towards the left towards there and over to here. and then over to the right for each one of these. So that'll power there, then that'll power over to there, then that'll power over to there, with all of the connections in between. And we did all that while diving around, which is definitely against health and safety regulations, but you know what, it's our factory, our rules. If we want to put our hands in a big claw machine, then that's our right. And it might be stupid, but I don't have an end to that comment. It is just stupid. Don't do it. Right, so we're going to go over to there and connect that to there, connect that to there, connect that to there, which then powers that and then powers that. So that should be our smelting solution system up and running. So we're going to start output. You can see the drill is going into mode 1 and it's heading down. That is now activating a first sequence, releasing the locks, and first output, which is now splitting and going to these machines. Excellent. If we just check our grid, we can see that it is running 24 megawatts out of 80, so that is perfectly acceptable. Right, good start. So these are now producing the iron plates, 30 a minute specifically. So let's get on with exploiting that. We need to go over to our production and to the constructor, and we need to place some constructors. So that's going to come straight out, and we need to produce some plates. So we're going to probably just bunch them up. I don't see any big reason to not do that, or do we want to? Is it an advantage in the short or long term? Short term, we save space. Long term, we probably have to remove them anyway because we're out of space. Let me just have a quick look up here and see what it looks like. We can do a bit of parkour, and no, we failed at parkour. Okay. Well, actually, no. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then do I really need 4 producing iron rods? I don't know. But what I do know is that I need at least 4 constructors producing the plates. So we'll say plates, plates, and in front of this, plates. Hang on, do I want to turn a bit? Yeah, plates. And this is something I didn't account for. Plates. These are not as wide. Okay. We should be okay. Right, so they're producing. Yes, they are. You, iron plate. You, iron plate. And copy paste. Copy paste. Is that right? I hope so, but there's lots of stuff and no production because we haven't powered anything up, so we'll do just that. So like before, we're going to place, because these are in banks of 2, we'll just place the power lines like so. Not too much of a problem there. Whoa, that went fast. Connect that to there, that one over to the power line to there, and then obviously we've got one more connection which we can bring over to the main spur line, which is currently quite full. So we will make sure we've got enough spare, so we'll do that. Obviously, we needed to mess around with these lines. I'm assuming that we get bigger ones of those as we progress on. If we check this, we are producing 55 megawatts. So let's have a quick look up here and see what we've got. I'm just going to pick up some shrubberies. Not for the Knights of Need, but certainly for our production. And is that a slug over there? I think it is. We can see that our factory is working quite well, actually. Excellent. Okay. So that's producing all of those. I'm going to go ahead and grab some more of these shrubberies, just because I know that we'll need them in probably quite a short amount of time, actually. And then we'll go back and we'll get the iron rods on the go, because at the moment we're only producing iron plate. We're producing a hell of a lot of iron plate, but certainly no iron rods, which is, well, not good. We need to produce some of those. So there's a lot of our stuff got. That's fine. Well, obviously we'll have to create all of this. Eventually we'll get the option for like a chainsaw. In fact, I might check that out now. Let's see if I can get a chainsaw. No, but our research is done now that I think about it. So what else can we research? I think it's power slug. So new specimen on the list to begin something. I'm going to say paleberry, because we do have
samples are required for R&D to continue developing a defense-oriented blueprint. The creature has been named Phacocoirus plummiuscata, or fluffy-tailed hog.
The fluffy-tailed hog. Okay. We don't need personal storage. We don't need the conveyor walls. Tier 2 part assembly. We don't need that yet. We don't need... Oh, there we go. Chainsaw. So we're going to select that because we do need a chainsaw. And we have the object scanner, beacons. No, we don't need any of that. Okay, so let's see if we can get this obstacle clearing, which is cables and iron rods and stuff like that. Okay, what I'm going to do then is... yeah, I'm going to dump some of this stuff for a start. A lot of this iron that I've got. There we are. And let's sort that out. Right. So, where were we? We were going to produce some iron rods. Now, at the moment, I think 6 factories producing plates is more than sufficient. So, let's go with these. So, these are a bit different because these are producing the iron ingots, which is 30 a minute. However... the constructors, if we place the constructor in... oh, we don't have enough plate. Let me go and get some of that. We need some reinforced plate, you see. I'm going to pick up some of this and this. There we are. So reinforced iron plate, I believe, requires concrete. It requires screws, apparently. And that requires some iron rods. And we got a lot of that, so that's fine. So how many do we need of these? 12, I think, in total. 1, 2, 3. That should be acceptable. And while we're here, we might as well get the biomass sorted. Which is nowhere near enough. Eventually we'll get coal, but that's a very future us thing. Don't need to pick up any of that. Actually, I can pick up that and get some more biomass. Ooh, 1 whole tick. Right, there we go. How much have we used so far? Well, it's not... Did I fill these up completely? If I did, then that's worrying, because... oh, yeah. I think those were pretty much full. Okay. Might have a problem with that later on. So, we're going to go back, and we're going to get these automated constructors up and running. So, we'll go for constructor, and we want to place a couple of these, but obviously we're going to give them a bit of a gap because of the spacing that I didn't account for. So, we'll say... are these... Which way are these facing? That way, okay. So we'll place one there, which is in line anyway, so that's fine. And we'll place one right next to that, which is very difficult because it's trying to snap to a million things. So we'll just place it there because that'll do us quite nicely. Things like that, you can see obviously it's stuck in. We'll be able to alter that later on. That's going to produce iron rods, that's going to produce iron rods, but that is 15 a minute, and this produces 30 a minute. Sorry, no, that produces 15 a minute. So, is it 1 to 1? No, it can't be. Hang on. Oh, because I'm an idiot. They should be over there. It's going to be one of those days. I was going to say, I'm looking at the wrong thing. There we are. Right, so we'll go for that again. Constructor, 3rd time to try. So intake is in there. Yes, we will make a... Put a bit of spacing on there. We're going to rotate it to it so it's right next to that one. Actually, we do want to give it a bit of a gap. And we're going to check. So this is producing 30 of those iron ingots a minute. And this produces 15 a minute. So we can have 2 for 1. We can have a 2 for 1 offer. Like so. Which requires, naturally, a splitter. We'll put it as close to the machines as possible. Like that. That should be fine. There and there. Yeah, and then this one, currently doing nothing, will probably go over here and then output like to there or something. Right, so that's fine. There's our... That's a big frontage for all of these. So before we do anything else, I think maybe a good idea was to put a buffer in. What's this? Our space elevator. Ah, yes, we can make a space elevator. We'll not be doing that here this episode. We want some storage containers, and we want several of them. I think we want a storage container pretty much in every output. Like I said, it's more of a buffer, so that when things are outputted, they can go in here for storage. It also means that we can pick them up quite easily. Just double checking to see if that's lined up. It is so not lined up. Alright, let's try that again. And in here, right? So that can go from there to there and there to there. So it just means that they can output straight away into these boxes, and we know A, where they're going, and B, it's like, say, a buffer. And we'll do the exact same thing on these ones. I think it would be advantageous to line these crates up. Just so we know... Do we want to line them up? Do we really need to line them up? Not really. Am I still going to do it? I don't know. Haven't yet decided. Well, I do want to stand there. No, I think line them up would be actually quite a silly idea. We want to give them more space. Give them room to breathe. Not that they'd do that. I mean, chemically they probably use some oxygen, but hey-ho. Breathing in the traditional sense, probably not so much. Right, so that's fine there. We'll go for storage container once more, and we're out of iron plate, which is probably not an issue when I go over there and start picking them up from the boxes that we've just placed. There we go, 57 in our pocket, and we'll go for storage container, and from here it will be in, and then in, and once again conveyor belts, like so. And now power, because we don't have it. Is that maxed out, that pole? No, it's not. That's good. This is a very good thing. So we want it there, which will... Power line, power line, power line. Now on. And... Have we got maximum activation? No. Good. And good. I think we might have achieved something here. Yes. 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 Alright. I think we're there. I don't know if I've got the ratios right. I must confess, there's been several helpful comments, so thank you very much for that. Also, someone sent a full spreadsheet over, which is... yeah, I appreciate that. It's good reference. It just felt a bit too robotic. Like, I've done the work for you. You don't need to have fun now. Anyway, so that's outputting. That seems to be outputting faster, but it's not. What it's doing is getting rid of the backlog. So if I pick that up and that up, it should... Yes, it should go back to what it actually should be producing. I'm just double checking this. 15 a minute. 30 a minute. So that is fine. The problem is, in terms of... We've got 15 of those a minute. So we're producing 30 a minute of those. And in terms of these ones, we're producing 30. We're producing 60. So we're producing 60 plates, but only 30 rods. That's, I don't think, an issue at the moment, because we mainly use the... I think mainly we use those. But anyway, what I'm going to do now is do the same thing over to here. So this is going to be where we've got our copper production. And we're going to put it on the far left, because we can. And it's going to be the same sort of thing. We know that copper cables... Sorry, we know that smelters... if we place one around here... Is it going to be around here? Oh, this is some stone that we might use eventually. Okay. I'll place it far enough away, I think. So we should be alright. Trying to pick up this. There we go. So this, if we're producing copper, is 30 a minute, and we're getting 60 off the miner. So another smelter. Down to about here. And then we can use a splitter. Probably should be better. Well, it would have been better to do that. Oh. Remove that. Then there to there. There, there. There, there. Alright, and that's going to produce our copper, which will then go on to produce 30 of the ingots. In terms of our production, shut one down for a second. It's very easy to just trial and error sort of thing. Oh, 45 a minute. and 30 a minute. But what do you get? One gives you... Oh, does one give you 3? One gives you 3. Okay. So we might have to alter that. What I'm going to do first, though, is remove that. And that's a power pole. I'm going to come over here with that. Can't afford. Haven't got enough cable. Okay, I'll go back and get that done. By the time I get back, actually, we'll probably have enough resources for obstacle clearing, which I think would be good, because it's annoying that we don't have... Oh, actually, we have obstacle clearing, but do we have biofuel? I don't think we do. I've got 600 plate on me. There's enough plate then, isn't there? Let's put that in there, that in there, and we need lots more of this. And we can't produce enough screws. So it's a copper problem. Right, okay. How are we doing for research? Analysis complete, yeah. Flower petals, okay, we can do flower petals.
Red berries or pale berries can be added to the object scanner catalog after unlocking the new blueprint in Hub Tier 1.
So flower petals. Research. Got good research. Right. So I'm going to have to get this copper ingot done manually. Yeah, we need copper cable up and running ASAP. ASAP. So what will be the proper ratio then? So we're producing... What was it, 30? I think it was 30. Yeah, because it was 60 from the miner, 30 on the production. That would be a total of 60, but we've got 45 per tick for every one. So we need another intake, another couple of smelters, and we could, yeah, we could ideally change that up a bit. What I'll do in the interim then, I'll just have a 1-to-1 ratio. I won't bother messing around with it. I'll have a 1-to-1, and yes, the factory can technically go quicker, but I'd rather have something rather than nothing for the time being. I mean, it's never going to be 100% efficient anyway. You're going to have to focus on time or throughput. Obviously, you can see that there's a big gap there. We're trying to be we're trying to get as much as we can from what we're mining. And obviously, that's not a hard limit, you understand. So anyway, what did we need for these constructors? Sorry, we needed 2 constructors. I love the way you can add that like that. That's just brilliant. Such a good feature. Just makes it much easier to go. This is what I need. There you go. Okay, there we are. I'm gonna head over. And oh, actually, wait. Wait. Let's actually produce some more cables and wires, because I can guarantee I'll get to try and plug in the thing in, and it'll be nope. You don't have enough cable or copper or anything like that, so you know, take a long walk off a very short pier. So that's producing. All this will shut down shortly, by the way, because I don't think I've got enough biomass. But anyway. Constructor. We'll place one to the... place one there, that'll be fine. So we'll just 1-to-1 it, I think. Like that. So that is producing copper cable, that's producing... sorry, wire. Wire, my mistake. So we should have power over here. Oh, we didn't have power because I couldn't build one of those. And now I can. I'm going to do the same there. That up to there and there. Very easy to connect all these. And... power off everything. No, it has not happened. So there we are producing 30 ingots going over to here. Ideally, I mean, see, it's 1 copper. Ah, hang on. That's power the factory down on it. The entire factory's just turned off. Time 4 seconds. I'll have to do some calculations on that. Is that right? We're producing 60. Not that we do much anyway because we haven't got enough copper. We're producing 60. But we can do 45 a minute. And it's 1 for 3. 1 for 3 wire. I'll just keep it a 1-1 for now. Don't really care too much. I know the factory's off. I'm aware of this, but I'm going to, while I'm here, because I don't want to be coming back here for doing something very simple like this, which is just putting a couple of containers in. I might as well put them in now because I'm going to go back and just place another... I'm going to place another biomass reactor to do the reacting things. And not reacting tons because there are other things that we've had in the different series. Mainly for assaulting other airships. Right, so we don't need another factory. Production. Don't need the constructor. I call them factories because they build things, but the whole thing is a factory. But we do need some more biomass reactors, which we can, well, quite simply just fit in there. And hopefully that will connect up to there. It will. And we'll say, there's a... no more biomass because I don't have any more. We're going to have to go on a proper hunt in a moment. Biomass leaves. Oh my god, we've got almost none. None in here. Let me pick that copper up and just get rid of it. When I say get rid of it, I mean smelt it, obviously. There we go. Right. Should hopefully enough if I put it in here. And look at the spike there. Ooh, it's only just over. It looks like it was only 1 or 2 megawatts over. So that's an interesting one. The problem now is that I am obviously having to now feed this factory, which is very, very hungry. 1.21 gigawatts hungry. Well, nowhere near that much, but still. Is it gigawatts or gigawatts? Answers in the comments. And then probably many arguments. What's that? Is that limestone? Pure of... Oh, okay, fair enough. Don't need it. If it was something important, then I'd do it. So there's a lot of leaves. And coming around the corner we see... Whoa, look at all the pollution! Right, so it looks like we have good production. I might change it so we get more. I think we might need the same amount of iron rods, but I'm not entirely sure. I would not want to intentionally get it wrong. I'll certainly get it wrong unintentionally. But still. Right, so there's the screws that we need. And this is going to get us obstacle clearing, which is an important thing to do. We do need to get this... We do need to get this done because that gives us the ability to chop down trees. It also, I believe, gives us biofuel, which is more dense. It's a denser fuel. So it lasts longer, which means less micromanagement of filling up the factory. Filling up the generators. Okay, so this should be this done now. Click. And there we go.
Milestone reached. Additional to an inventory
I do like looking at this thing take off. Bye! And then the power plant's just... entire thing's just gone off. Is our research complete? Yes, we have. We'll go for the green power slug now, because we've got one.
R&D wishes me to tell you these colored petals are useful for 2 things, dating and creating color cartridges. Mandatory reminder that you are under 24/7 surveillance. The derived blueprint is now accessible in Hub Tier 2.
Good. So what it's telling us there is that what we've just researched, that stuff there, is ability to colour things. Now, originally, I dismissed that as a completely useless thing. It is not, because you can then colour the lines so you can quickly look at it and go, ah, I know what we need to do here. What I do need to do is power this thing back on. But we are running low on some biomass. Although, actually, we're not, because most of this has got 90 odd. So it's just that. There we are. Right, that's us back online. So, we need to make a chainsaw. Can you add this to your wants list? Yes, you can. Oh. Game's certainly finished, but it's sure as hell really playable. And that's not a backhanded compliment either. That's a case of they've put a lot of effort at this stage to... we're not buying roads there. So make sure that... I guess it's his... There's been a lot of effort put in, it seems, to make so there's features like that, to just make it more user-friendly, which I do appreciate and approve of. There we go. Okay, so we're going to make this chainsaw. I'm guessing now, actually, we can make biofuel. No, we cannot. That's strange. So how do we power this thing, then? I don't know, but it's going to be interesting finding out. Okay, a couple more screws. Correct. Yes, done. We'll have to create loads more because, well, we need to create these reinforced iron plates, and that'll probably use up some of the screws that we need anyway. Yeah, there we go. And screws. Done. Right, so we can make a chainsaw. Craft, which takes 15 hits, 15 ticks. Done. We now have a chainsaw in our pocket. So we will put that from our pocket into our hand, and we can see that we have absolutely no biofuel. And oh, hang on, wait. And... ooh, right, okay, that can cause some serious damage. Yeah, we need biofuel. And I don't think we can create it yet. Colour gun, walkways, jump pads, part assemblies, utility biofuel, select milestone, and that is our next task, next episode. So, I think we will leave it there. Let us go and take a look at what we've managed to accomplish here. And... right, okay. It's a lot more than what we did. Last episode was about getting a base up and running, just to get some resources so we can keep going. And now this is, I think, a proper foundation. Far from perfect, I know, but we have 3 iron miners producing, producing a lot of iron ore. Obviously, that is getting smelted and then turned into, well, we've got a total of 4 containers of plates and 2 of rods. We might go ahead and increase, because that is currently doing nothing, increase the output of the copper, of the rods. We've also got copper. This is going to hurt. I misjudged that jump. We've also got the copper over here producing. We can see we've got copper coming down from there to there and then in here. So overall, to say that I'm pleased with the progress that we've made is an understatement. I'm very happy with what we've managed to accomplish here. Next episode, we will go ahead and we need to do a couple of things. We need to research the biofuel so we can then go down and cut some more trees. We need to put a more long-term solution in place for our power generation, which is based on a power plant that will probably go up there, but we'll see how it goes. Oh, we've got a landing, and there it goes, spinning round. And... clunk. Cool. Yeah, so we'll get a lot more long-term solution for our power generation, and I guess go from there, really. As always, hope you have enjoyed the video and the series thus far. Comments in the comments. Thanks very much for watching. Take care, and generic partings.